So bigger government is always bad. I mean, even if you wanted, let's say that liberals needed to have the NA programs and the AA programs and the batters treatment programs and all these other programs to just cradle everybody. So in any case, we have this this government where people are entitled to all kinds of things, healthcare and welfare and things like this. Does it really require a big government to do these things? I mean, does big government need to own the institutions that provide these services? We would have more competition, we'd have better institutions if people, we gave people vouchers, like they're talking about for schools. We just give people vouchers. Hey, you're a junkie, you need NA. Let me give you a voucher right here. And this right here is going to get you help. This voucher right here is for any NA meeting you want in the land. Go to these things, give them your voucher. They'll take your voucher and they'll submit it to the government for a check. That way, the best NA meetings would get the vouchers, and then they would in turn, and that would provide a particular competition for good NA meetings and good AA meetings and good welfare services and good social services. So everybody would get like a food stamps. They would get a food stamps and a voucher for drug abuse. They would get a food stamps or a voucher for child care. They would get all these different vouchers. And this would create the competition for every entity in the land that would provide these services that the government thinks are so important for people. But it would create, I mean, everybody knows that government employees are the laziest bastards that you ever saw. You go and you ask them for help and they're like, wait a minute, hold on, let me finish my donuts, let me finish my lunch, I'm filing my nails, stand in the back of the line, jackass. I'm on the phone talking to my girlfriend because after I blow out of here at 4:59, I need to go to a movie and maybe get drunk or something like this. So anyway, let's go back to small government. You talked about every politician talks about small government and they don't implement it. Well, I don't hear any Democrat talking about small government. I think I've heard it a couple times, but it's not. They don't really talk about any compelling issues on why they really are convicted that small government is important or relevant or a benefit. So these the small government people are usually the Republicans, of course. I think we know that if we know anything about the two parties. But you're right. Absolutely nobody follows through. They talk about a lot of things. I mean, they talk about tons of stuff, and very little happens. I mean, Bush has the best excuse because of the World Trade Center attack. But beyond that, he's incompetent. I mean, I can't even believe he got to be president in the first place, or even nominated to be a front runner for the Republican Party. So that was strange to me. Then our ability to do big things has gone away. That's one of the things you say that was absolutely 100% true, and it goes back to my little blurb on China. The reason why the China and Asian countries right now are kicking our ass in productivity is because they have competition. It's still our money. That's unfortunate and ironic. It's still our money funding that. And then it says the federal government should be responsible for environment and terrorism, like these big issues, and I agree with that too. And the government doesn't need to be big to do that. The government can reward private companies who are geared towards doing these things the best. In terrorism, there are a lot of organizations that focus on terrorism. Stratfor is one of them. There are probably several others like that that can have and be gathered intelligence from, or the government can gather intelligence from. This concept of the government being responsible for the environment and terrorism seems like a good idea, although private industry is so much more productive. I would have to imagine there has to be a way to privatize anything. And then all the government would have to do is regulate that private business. But I would imagine that if you realize any government that's been in, for the past 20 years that hasn't been America hasn't really been or flourished. I mean, there hasn't been any government that's been socialist that flourishes at all. I mean, the only countries that make a damn bit of good in the world as far as productivity and economics are free societies, capitalist societies. The only ideology we should be focusing on is the ideology of what the Founding Fathers were focusing on in regards to government, taxation, civil liberties, and just equality in general. I've read the Constitution. It's not a very big document. It's rather a short document, and it's easy to read. But nobody's really focusing on it. I mean, if you look at the oath that everybody takes to go into office, they're breaking that oath. But I always thought the Republicans were more where this country came from, with smaller government and capitalist values. Whereas, if you're going to make it on your own. Don't take from somebody else to supplement your shortcomings. These concepts I thought were Republican concepts, and now it doesn't even matter if you're a Republican or Democrat. They're already bought. They're in the tank for organizations, whether it be big business or special interest. These people are already bought, and the people that these politicians are going to for contributions and campaign contributions and the like are the exact same organizations who they're going to be looking forward to legislating and passing laws to benefit these particular groups and organizations. So more importantly than Democrats and Republicans is not the nominations, but the campaign process. But if we can get anybody to obey the law, I think it'll work itself out based on the Constitution. The Constitution's a fabulous document. I believe in the Constitution, and it's really the fundamental problem is how corrupt everything is because of the campaign contributions. Because that's where everything started, where somebody got paid, then the politician is really somebody's bitch at that point, and now they're doing the work of the person who owns them. I think everybody should get an equal amount of money. They should do some fucking debates, try to do some intelligent speaking. I mean, based on intelligent speaking, George Bush would be out on his ass, obviously, right? So you need to be articulate, because you can't just you can't be able to just mumble your way through a particular speech and have that be worth a damn. You need to be able to articulate your point of view, establish yourself as a good representative of this particular country, so you can talk your way out of a particular argument when somebody comes up to you and says, why is the First Amendment such a great idea? And why should people who use the First Amendment as a shield be more responsible? So, when it comes down to it, big government, small government, basically, I'm all for small government. I'm all for civil liberties, which mean get the hell out of my life, government. And if you're out of my life, you don't need to exist so much. So you can roll your stuff up and pack up your sideline businesses and just protect the borders. Make sure that these great capitalist companies don't get out of hand, and pay your politicians off to do some racketeering and some monopolizing, and we just have good competition. That the big guy doesn't gobble up every single small guy. We need the competition, which has kept this country to be the biggest influence in the history of the world. I mean, we're the greatest influence. We have the greatest innovation, the greatest productivity in the history of the world, and we're losing that just recently, just in the past several years.